Hello, and welcome to Riverside Theater's Putting It Together series. And by it, I mean shows. For those who are unaware, Riverside Theater is the only professional producing theater on the Treasure Coast. And producing means that we create our shows right here in Vero Beach for our audiences. Today, we're talking to Dan Condis, the production manager. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, I have a question for you. We've spoken to other department heads, and our audiences can see the final product from those departments, costumes and sets and whatnot. But as a production manager, you're really a behind the scenes kind of guy. What exactly does a production manager do?
The production manager functions as the hub of information between the artistic team and the production department. I supervise the scene shop, the paint shop, set a schedule so that they can stay online and we can get everything to opening night. I help decide the teams, the artistic teams that we'll be working with, along with our artistic director and associate producer.
So you're the guy who sort of works with all the different departments to make sure that the final product is achievable and done on time?
Correct. I'm the man behind the man.
The man behind the man. And are you also in charge of budgetary or even coming up with different ideas if something isn't quite working?
Yes. As far as the budget goes, we set budgets and kind of lean into things as far as the large pieces of scenery, how far we can go with them. It mostly starts with the design to make sure that we can, with the money available, realize the senior designer and the director's vision of the scenery. After that, it's kind of juggling decimal points for a long time.
And as a person who sort of organizes, do you set the deadlines for specific departments to have their designs or product done?
I do. I set all of the design dates, preliminary design dates and final design dates for all of our designers. And then working closely with my department heads, I help them to control what's the best way to put this, the workflow to make sure that it's efficient and getting where it needs to be, to the point it needs to be, when it needs to be.
When Alan Cornell, the producing artistic director of Riverside, decides what shows he wants to do for the following year,
yes,
how quickly do you get involved in the process?
Usually I'm involved somewhat in the decision making of the shows. As soon as we decide what the season is, I'm speaking to directors about the designers that they'd like to work with, or bringing options as well, so immediately.
So you have to have a good network of theater industry people that you can rely on for advice or to bring them on board?
Yeah, we spend, I belong to a lot of forums. There's a lot of conversations. The theater industry is a very small world. So there's a lot of, we're only like 3 steps from each other in the long run. So I speak, most of the time our designers come from the director and who they want to work with. Sometimes we're trying to bring in people that myself or some of our department heads would like to work with, that we've been looking for a project that would fit them well, and putting them together with that.
That's cool. Now you're working with professionals, but my understanding you also hire the interns. Are there interns that come and help out on a show?
Yes, I do all of the hiring actually for the production department. Most of my every year I go looking for about 24 individuals. Those people come and assist us for the season in production of the shows and running of the shows. Most of the time I will go at large conferences, I'll go and interview many, many people, 20 people a day. It's a nonstop whirlwind. And then I bring back suggestions to my department heads and work
are
with
these
them.
conferences theater conferences
Yeah.
where people are looking for a job, or there's just regular conferences
No,
of information and
They're
whatnot?
theater conferences. Historically, we've done theater conferences. We also look. There's websites that are specifically for our industry that we're always looking out for people that can help us bring our vision and our art to the audiences as well as possible.
So behind the scenes, there's a lot going on.
A lot going on. It
That the
takes a
people
long
don't
time.
necessarily, in the audience, don't necessarily get to witness.
Correct.
But you're the tie that puts everything together.
Yes. Some days, sometimes better than others. But yeah, I mean, we start looking at shows really almost about a year in advance. I start getting designs for shows about 200 days in advance of opening night, and then everything starts to kind of whittle down. Yeah. Well, because of our size, we tend to have to do things a little bit further in advance, so that we have the space for all of these extremely large sets. So
It's amazing. So just a little bit more information on you personally. How did you get involved in theatrical productions? I mean, you've traveled the world
I have, yes.
doing shows. So how did you get your start? What made you want to be part of the theatrical community?
Well, I was in high school, and my girlfriend at the time needed strong men to carry scenery around for the high school production. So I was volunteered at that point. And I honestly kind of fell in love with the people, the camaraderie, the family, the group in general. I started when I was in high school, about what, 14, 15, something like that. Went to college, got my degree, traveled in New England working there, and then was hired on by a professional rigging company that does aerial flying. And
Like a Cirque du Soleil sort of thing?
kind of more like Peter Pan.
Peter Pan, okay.
And I've done that all over the United States, all over Canada, 9 other countries. I've been on tour with Zach Brown Band for a small chunk. I helped set up for Pink's show. I've worked on the original choreography for American Idiot prior to it going to Berkeley, before it went to Broadway. So I've been, I used to go to New York every now and again and work on Wicked. And so, yeah, I've traveled quite a bit, and I'm happy to cool my heels here.
Well, we're thrilled that you are here. You've made Vero your home, and we're
Yes,
very
much so.
grateful for your insight and the work that you do to put the shows together for our audiences. And thank you for your time, and I'm sure our audiences will have better affinity of what goes on behind the scenes when they come to watch a show. Thanks, Dan.
My pleasure. Thank you.